Hello, I'm Shirai Smith and I'm going to be discussing my dissertation research with you. There is potential for short-term improvements in active range of motion through maximal muscular contraction. This phenomenon is known as post-activation potentiation or PAP. Active range of motion is the angle of flexion achieved by contractions around the joint. An example of this would be a kick. It's active because the leg is doing the work. A passive example would be lifting the leg with the arms. This research explored the effect of lifting the knee against a maximal contraction on height of kicks. 5 female participants currently studying contemporary dance at Trinity Laban were tested using a modified straight leg raise test. This was done standing to make it as dance applicable as possible. All participants done a warm-up followed by a passive straight leg raise test. This was done to make sure they met the criteria of having a greater passive than active range of motion, meaning that improving strength in the hip flexors could increase the height of the kick. Then they completed an active straight leg raise test to get pre-intervention scores. The intervention was done, which was the contraction against a fixed surface for 10 seconds. A 4-minute rest was then allowed to make sure that fatigue did not affect the scores after the contraction. The active straight leg raise test was then repeated for post-intervention scores, and a cool down was then done. This research was unable to determine if post-activation potentiation can increase active range of motion. The data was insignificant, but almost all participants scored higher after the contraction. A great deal more is needed to know about post-activation potentiation. More research on the optimum conditions, including duration of contraction, rest time, and duration of potentiation, would better inform us how to use it and how to make it applicable in dance. There would also need to be an understanding from the individual of how post-activation potentiation works in order to use it. It could be used to increase active range of motion in screening for auditions or during short performances. It's unknown how long the duration of potentiation is, but at the moment research suggests it's up to 20 minutes or could be significantly less. Due to the understanding or lack of, not much post-activation potentiation is used in dance. For this reason, it may be better, more efficient or easier to use strength training to increase active range of motion. This would be a long-term alternative method. This research can be used to influence other research in post-activation potentiation or around other methods of training, but more information is needed.